Yeah, and where we are, Tommy DeVito is our only quarterback on the roster, so you may evaluate both of those. Those both may be options. So, again, we don't know what's going to happen in the draft. We don't know who's going to be there. When we get around these kids, they may or may not be a fit for us. So, we're going to have to address the position somewhere. And even if you get a young quarterback, you'd like to have a vet, in the room with them to show them the ropes and how to be a pro. So, we're looking at all different avenues. It's, hey, is this guy going to be really good for a young quarterback, or is this guy a starter? Or can we get a guy in the draft? Or if we do, should we have a guy that's more of a guy that can develop and show a guy how to be a pro? So, we're going to look at vets. We're going to look at the draft. We're going to look at trade candidates. We're going to look at under every rock to, find the best prospect for us going into the 25 season.
I think it comes to no surprise that the New York Giants are in a position where they need to go get a quarterback to support an elite wide receiver in Malik Neighbors. You have Wan'Dale Robinson, you have Theo developing as a tight end, Tyrone Tracy, right? You have some really solid weapons here in New York, but the quarterback position needs to be fixed. Now, the Giants GM just actually gave us some really big time news at the scouting combine. We all knew that they were going to probably most likely take one of the quarterbacks, whether it be Cam Ward or if it's Shedeur Sanders. One of those guys will most likely be there at 3 unless a team like the Raiders wants to trade up to 2 and maybe Cam Ward goes 1, Raiders trade up to 2 and get Shedeur Sanders, right? But most likely, the Giants are going to get a quarterback in this year's draft if they like the ones available. If they don't, there's a ton of free agents, there's a ton of guys that could potentially be hitting the market, and the Giants GM basically just came out and said, well, we're looking at both. We want a veteran and we want a rookie, so they might even double up. And you can look at the guys available, there's some decent options. Now, let's just say in the NFL draft, it goes Travis Hunter number 1, Abdul Carter number 3. Well, now the Giants are in a dream position where they could take Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders. Now, let me know in the comments down below, if this were to happen, what would you guys do? Who would you take? Personally, I think Cam Ward has the highest ceiling in this year's NFL draft as a quarterback. I would take him number 3 overall. Now, when you actually compare Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders, they're very interesting prospects. I believe that Shedeur Sanders has a higher floor, but Cam Ward has the higher ceiling. But check out what Joe Schoen actually said about the two quarterbacks at the combine.
Yeah, I'm not going to get into comparing the guys. We've done a lot of work on those two. I know a lot of people are talking about those two, but there's other quarterbacks throughout the draft, and excited to get around those guys as well.
Now, clearly, from that interview, Joe Schoen does not want to tip his hand. He does not want to show the NFL who he wants. So he's going to come out here and say, yeah, we're going to look at Jackson Dart. We're going to look at Will Howard. We're going to look at all these guys in this year's NFL draft just to make sure that we're not missing anything. But at the end of the day, I think there is someone he wants. And to be honest, again, if it was me, I think he would take Cam Ward if he's available. If not, I think he would take Shedeur Sanders if he's there as well, right? Now, at the end of the day, this team needs a quarterback. They will do whatever it takes to get a quarterback and to win football games next year. Drafting a quarterback this year might not be the only solution.
Yeah, I've said it to you guys before. I think it's the most important position in football, and we have one on our roster right now, and I think that's important wherever we address it. That the play has to be better than what it's been, and because of injuries, we played 4 quarterbacks this year. We played 3 last year, so it'd be nice to have one guy out there that can help you, give you the best chance to win games and also stay healthy. So again, yeah, that is an important position, and we need better play out of that position than what we've had, and that'll help us.
And honestly, let's just take a look at some guys that are potentially available for the Giants to go out and get. Now, obviously, Sam Darnold is an option, but you're most likely not going to want to pay him over $123 million when you're going to draft the guy, because then you could potentially end up in one of those Kirk Cousins situations. So I would say Sam Darnold is almost even off of their radar at this point. However, getting a guy like Justin Fields on a potential 1-year deal could be very, very interesting, worth about $11 million. Maybe comes in there, competes with the guy like Shedeur Sanders for that number 1 job. You don't have to announce him the day 1 starter for that type of money, which could be huge. There's also a Russell Wilson, more of a veteran, maybe someone that you would want to help develop a quarterback like a Cam Ward. I feel like that would be a very smart thing to do. But again, Russell Wilson, he probably wants to start this year. Would you have him start the first 8 weeks? If it doesn't go well, then put your other quarterback in, but give Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders time to learn? That could be a good option. But are you going to want to pay $60 million over 2 years? Maybe not. Jameis Winston is another one I've heard a ton here for the Giants, a guy who can really air the thing out, man. If Jameis Winston goes to the New York Giants, I can guarantee you one thing, and that is that Malik Nabers will have more than 10 touchdowns, over 1,500 receiving yards, and probably over 100 catches. He would have a year, right? From there, it doesn't really get any crazier. I feel like this is pretty much it here for quarterbacks that are, available right now that you might want as the New York Giants. However, we've heard a little bit of rumblings about potentially Matthew Stafford getting traded if he can't find a contract extension with the LA Rams. Now, he is probably going to want about $50 million or whatnot if he goes to a new team. Matthew Stafford is under contract with the Rams, so if you were to trade him, he would be, under contract for that next team like the New York Giants. Now, are the New York Giants interested? Check out what Joe Schoen had to say about Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, you have to ask the Rams that. Ask that you can get that from the Rams and let them talk about that. He's under contract with them, so that'd be a question for the Rams.
Now, it actually just came out that Shedeur Sanders was not going to be throwing at this year's NFL Combine, and Cam Ward is still up in the air. And Joe Schoen had another interesting thing to say about this as well.
I'm okay with that. Played quarterback in high school and college, also played receiver. Have a son that's a quarterback, so to me, you've never thrown to these receivers before, okay? Like, you guys are the local guys, like you guys know Wandell. He's quick and fast and really good in the slot. And then you may get a bigger receiver that's a 4-6 guy that's not a good route runner. So if they throw, that's great. I'm never going to downgrade them for not throwing. And then if they don't have a great throwing session, I'm not going to downgrade them for that either because I've never thrown to these guys. And it's timing, it's anticipation, it's the type of routes that guys run, their ability to run certain routes. So, I think that's important as a quarterback when you're throwing to these guys. So if a guy decides he doesn't want to throw and he wants to throw at his pro day, I'm okay with that.
Overall, there are a ton of different directions that this New York Giants team can go in, but I want you guys to let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Do you think they should draft a rookie? Do you think they should sign a veteran on a big deal? Do you think they should do both? Let me know in the comment section down below. Hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, join the family, turn on post notifications. It is free. Doesn't cost anything, and we're going to be breaking down Giants coverage and news all year long, so make sure you guys join the family if you haven't already done so. And with that being said, get ready, man. More Giants videos soon. Peace.